Hello, I'm John Adams, editor of Digital Photo, and welcome to this video lesson which is all about adding text to an image and then adding an image inside the text. If that's not quite clear, this is what I mean. You take an image such as this, and then you want to add some text to it. Now that's easy enough, you just use the type tool and choose your font and type it straight into the picture. But then you want to add another picture inside this text to actually make the picture into a text shape. So we get something like that, a nice vein of a leaf running through this word garden. And then you perhaps want to enhance the whole thing by adding a bit of a drop shadow to the text itself. Now in the magazine this month, we've got the instructions on how to do this using Photoshop, but Elements is a little bit different in the way it works, so this video tutorial is all about how to do this same effect using Elements software. Okay, so let's go back to our starting point, get rid of the lettering. Here's our start image. It's on the disk. It's called flower.jpg, so you can open that up to use it as an example if you want to. And what we're going to do is first of all get our text on the image. So to do that, we're going to use the type tool. So we click on the big T in the toolbox here. If you click and hold on it, you'll see this horizontal type tool, vertical type, horizontal type mask, vertical type mask. You need the first one, horizontal type tool. So the nice simple option that should be already selected in the toolbox here. Once you've done that, we need to pick a font. Now you can do this before or after you've typed your text, but we're going for Arial Black, so that's you'll have that font I imagine on your system. Which font you have depends on what's actually on your system itself, but Arial's pretty common and should be there. So Arial Black, regular, and we're going to go for a huge font size of 150 points. So type that in there, and then what we're going to do is select the center text option. That's this box here. And if you click on that, you can either left align, go in the center, or right align your text. If we're going for the center text option, it means you simply click in the middle of where you want your word to be. So all you have to do once we've selected that is click in the image, and that will be the center of our word. Where it's flashing there is the middle of our word. Okay, so all we have to do now is type our word. One thing you might want to do is set a different color. We're picking white here, just because it's nice and simple and easy to see. But if you want to go for a different color, either choose a different color in the foreground color swatch, because that's the one that will be imported up here, or simply click on this box here and pick the color you want from there. We're going to stick with white though, so I'll just click OK to that. Right, we've got our color set, we've got our font size, we've got our font type. All we have to do now is actually use the keyboard and type in our word. So I'm going to hit caps lock just to get it all in caps and type the word garden on screen. Once we've typed it, we can move it around and just adjust the position. I think there looks fairly good. Yeah, that should do nicely. And that's all there is to writing text. Pretty simple so far, but what we need to do is have a little look in our layers palette. Now you should find it in the dock over here. If it's not there, just go to Window and choose Layers, and that should bring the layers up on screen. They're actually off my screen here, so I'm just going to drag them on from the side. There they are. And you can see we have two layers there. One is our background layer, which is the picture, and you automatically create a new type layer when you use the type tool. So there's our text layer sitting above it. What we're going to do is open the image we want to insert into this text. So I'm just going to go to File and choose Open. And we're going to use this file called leaf.jpg. So there that is. And I'm going to copy the whole of this leaf image. So I'm just going to hold Control and A down. That's select all, so we see the marching ants appear around that particular leaf image. Then I'm going to hold Control and hit C. So that's Control and C, which copies the whole thing into memory. Now I can close this image down, which is another shortcut, Control and W, if you want to work quickly. And we lose the image we've just opened, but we have it in the system memory. It's actually held in a thing called a clipboard, ready to be pasted into an image. Now, we want to select this text here. We want to select where it says garden. And because it's in white, a nice easy way to do this is just pick the magic wand tool. That's this one here in the Elements interface. Click on the magic wand tool. Make sure contiguous is not ticked. Make sure that box there isn't ticked. And then just click on one of the letters. In so doing, you'll select the whole lot. So we have the whole of the word garden selected and outlined with marching ants. So we can just go to paste into, yeah? Let's just go up to Edit and choose Paste into Selection. Oh dear, it's grayed out. We can't paste our picture of a leaf into the selection. And the reason is that this particular layer is a vector layer. It's mathematical, it's a text layer, rather than a layer based on pixels, which is a rasterized layer. So all we have to do before we can paste into this selection is create a new layer. So we use our Layers palette, click on the Create a New Layer icon, Click once, we get a layer 1 at the top of our layer stack, and now if we go back up to edit, we can choose paste into selection. Click on that once, and our leaf will be pasted into the garden lettering that we've selected. Now it's not quite in the right place. Let me just move that layers palette a touch. There we go. So we can now use the tools to actually move it around. So we can click on the move tool. You can see that the leaf isn't quite big enough to go right through the word. So what we're going to do is hit Control and T to go into the transform dialog, and then we can just move these corner handles here and just stretch out the leaf a bit just until it fits. That's good. We can also hold the mouse outside the bounding box and just rotate it slightly if we want to straighten up that vein running through the word. That's pretty good there. Once your picture fits the words and it's looking good on screen, double click inside the bounding box or hit the return key on the keyboard and that transformation will happen. There we go. Now that's all done, our last job is to add a drop shadow to this text layer. Now we're not really using the garden layer, we've used that as a template before, so we can switch that off, it's not doing anything. Now to add a drop shadow in Elements, you need to follow a different route to the one you'd follow in Photoshop, where you simply just double click on the layer thumbnail here. What we need to do in Elements is go to the Effects tab, so we click on that there, and we get lots of options to choose from. It'll normally start with bevels up here, so you've got lots of bevel options you can pick, but if we click on that menu there, we can find drop shadows from the list here. So we select drop shadows, then you just have to pick from these visual representations what kind of drop shadow you want. Do you want a neon style drop shadow? Never seen a shadow in neon before. Or do you want a low shadow, a hard edge shadow, a soft edge shadow? All these options to choose from. You can edit them further after you've selected one, but you need to select one first. So we'll go for this soft edge shadow here, click on that, and the drop shadow will be applied as soon as you tick apply. There we go, we click on there, and you can see it there appearing on the image. Now we can move the Effects tab out the way, just close those down. And then if we wish to edit the drop shadow a bit further, we can do. You see this FX icon appears alongside the layer we've added the drop shadow to. Now if we double click where it says FX, it loads up our style settings. And you can see here we have a lighting angle, which gives us a global lighting angle for the drop shadow. We can move that around wherever we want to. I'm going to leave it just about here on 135 degrees. Then we've got some drop shadow settings. We've got size, distance, and opacity. Opacity is how heavy the drop shadow is, so we can reduce that all the way and get rid of the shadow altogether, or we can make it very, very heavy at 100%, so it's very, very apparent in the image. The norm is about 75, so if we go for around 75%, that should be pretty good. The other two sliders, size and distance, fairly self-explanatory. The size is how big the drop shadow is compared to the text there, and round about sort of 50 pixels or so should be okay with this size image. Then we've got distance, which is how far the drop shadow is from the text. You can see you can move it away from the text or have it very close to the text. And somewhere around sort of 50 pixels again looks pretty good on this image. Maybe a little less than that. Perhaps we'll drop down to sort of, I've got 38 there, which looks pretty good. Once you're happy with the edited style settings, just click OK. And there you have your text, which has been filled with a particular image and a nice drop shadow just to set it off. So once you've done all that, you see we've still got some marching ants running across. Don't worry about those. You can just hit Control and D, which is deselect to get rid of them. There we have our image, looking rather nice. Make a good cover, perhaps for a garden calendar, if that's the sort of thing you want to make. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Give that a try. That's the Elements workaround for adding text to a picture and then adding a picture inside the text. If you want to see how to do it in the full version of Photoshop, just look in the magazine in the Photo Answers section. Okay, thanks for listening and see you next time.